shake a Crip's hand. I know everybody emotional. Is it better if I rap about crack, huh? Cause it's cultural? Or how about I'ma shoot you? Or how about 106 LA Leakers? Lift off show. New Kanye West. Featuring T.
Turn this nigga off because
this nigga keeps talking.
Kanye West, probably our most, one of the most influential artists of all time. We don't have to go into pretense about his tweets.
I just feel as though if our community can only look towards rappers and artists on political stances, we gotta do way better. Because you hearing Chance now defending all the shit that he's doing. And me personally, I don't care about neither one of their political stances.
Mm-hmm.
The music is what matters. Like, and I get it. You're trying to take whatever Trump is doing and make it into whatever he wants. But at the same time, Trump is Trump.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to agree with that. Not everybody's going to disagree with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even the whole rollout of it, if you didn't have an album, I would probably respect it slightly more. If you didn't have an album coming out, if you just randomly popped up with all this, it would seem a little bit more genuine. But the random tweets, it's like, come on.
Let's go back 3 days ago. Let's go back before this shit. 3 days ago. Was it 3 days ago last time?
Thursday.
3 days ago, whatever. We're speaking, and we were pretty upset.
Yeah.
We were upset. That shit was wild. Because there was no, it was all half comment. When you're that big, when you're Kanye West and you're that big, and you say I love Donald Trump, and that's it, and you end it there, you're siding with a lot of things that probably aren't consistent to what you actually believe in. But saying that, it doesn't matter. You're not finishing the sentence. If you're to come back later and say I don't agree with 100% of what anybody says, it's like
you're giving people that room and that space to give all of this critique.
Yeah.
And you might want that for the pub, but at the same time, I can't really respect that.
No, I can't respect it because it's to motivate, it's to promote, to promote to make money, it's to promote an album, it's attention, it's being an attention whore. Kanye's known for being on the opposite side of the fence always. You know, his opinion was always the unpopular opinion. When his opinion was the unpopular opinion 8-7 years ago, we all looked at him like, hey, he's over there, and he's, saying, hey, look over here. Wasn't a big of a deal because it wasn't, I don't think it's serious. Now we're on the flip side where everyone kind of is on that side of the fence now, and then he's back on the other side of the fence like, hey, but look over here. And we're all like, fam, this is different.
Yeah.
This is a little different. But I kind of had it in the back of my mind. I kind of knew, I was like, he's not just gonna come on this album and not address it in a way where he's not gonna block out the form. It's not gonna be like a Yeezus where it's just like, this is the way that I think and this is how I feel about it. I knew that he was gonna. I saw this song coming. In the black community, we have hip hop.
Yeah.
No one else, no other community, no other culture has what we have.
Yeah.
We have hip hop. We have rappers. We have this. Look at athleticism as a part of hip hop. We have that. It is a part of black culture. So that's why it is so influential. And we can't compare ourselves to another culture and say, well, they don't have this, so we shouldn't have it because this looks ridiculous. It's like, well, no, our culture is different.
Yeah.
Why is it bad for us to look at rappers for our political views?
I don't want to hear their political views. I don't care. For people our age, the millennials, what other person or people other than a rapper? I'm not a political person, so
a famous person.
What other people do we look at?
In fame?
Yeah, as far as like political.
What people?
Who do we look at other than rappers?
Who does anyone else look at?
Well,
there's
a lot of people that have Donald Trump to look at. And he's not even a politician. He's just our president right now.
I follow a rapper before I follow Donald Trump.
Of course. But in our community, if that is the only people that we have to look towards, and that, me personally, I hear rappers, like black people, I hear rappers and athletes speaking more. I don't see that many, black congressmen speaking out like Kanye, or black lawyers, or police officers. Mind you, there's still cops killing black kids.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a matter of. I don't even think that it's so much a matter of race as it is a matter of status. Politicians, you have to remember to separate politicians from civilian. A politician does not think like a civilian.
Yeah.
A politician's not going to look at the problems that we see and go, why don't we fix this? They're going to look at it and go, well, my agenda, your agenda, the agenda, politics in itself, the definition of politics, the definition of being a politician is itself it's not a clean game. Kanye West being the influence that he has, let's not even talk about Kanye West. We could talk about somebody like T.I. We could talk about somebody like Jay-Z. We could talk about somebody like Rick Ross. We could talk about big rappers that have influence. The whole point of politics is a matter of influence. When you're running a campaign to become president, it's how many votes can I get? It's how many people can I get on my side? How many people care? How many people want to follow me? It's a matter of influence. Get rid of the position of being an artist, of being a rapper, being an actor, being a politician. Who's the most influential?
It doesn't have to be in the government. I'm just saying in general, outside of just hip hop.
The problem isn't in hip hop.
It's not a problem, but I'm saying that shouldn't be the only influence, and that's true. The only influence that we have.
That's true.
You look when something tragic happens, you look to see what people like Kanye are going to say about it, and it may not even necessarily be a political stance, but a political stance as far as like an award show, a VMA.
Yeah.
That's still music, but that's still a political stance. You're looking for a Kanye response.
Mm-hmm. This conversation doesn't come up when we hear what we like. So why are we having this conversation when we hear what we don't like? This conversation doesn't come up about J. Cole. We don't give him shit because he's a rapper, and then we go, oh, well, you're giving your political view. Oh, because we like it. When we hear what we don't like, now it's like, oh, rappers need to chill the fuck out. It's like
the difference between J. Cole and Kanye, J. Cole keeps it in the music. J. Cole's not meeting with Donald Trump because he feels though we have to come together as people. I understand you try to bring people together and stuff like that, but standing next to somebody, there's still things that are happening. Like I said, there's cops killing kids still. There's things happening in Chicago still. You still have to take those small leaps before you just try to stand next to Donald Trump.
It's a fact, absolutely.
Trump. So that's my only thing. And then you have an album coming out. So we have to go back to that.
What about when you stand next to Obama?
Presidents, they're not necessarily for one side of the culture. They're for everybody. So when you're standing next to a president, you have to be sure that you know exactly what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it. Kanye is thinking of a broader like a broader space as far as like MLK was thinking, trying to bring people together, not necessarily fight, but be able to talk about things and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But what about people in Chicago? You said Obama didn't do anything for Chicago. What did he do? People are going to ask these questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are going to ask these questions, and I'm not saying he's wrong for doing it, but I'm just saying at the same time when you're doing it in an album coming out, you're giving people that room to critique that. Be genuine about it at the same time.
I can't even be always surprised. I can't be surprised about it. It kind of feels like this was coming at some point. This was gonna happen. If you gotta think from that perspective, what is the extremity of things that I can do to get people to look at me this time? What is the extremity? What does everyone else feel the need to say something about? And he found it, and involved himself. Now he's in talks on political shows on Fox News and CBS and NBC, and it's brilliant, and I have to applaud it. The same way when Donald Trump was running for president, I was like, this nigga is killing it with the PR. Mm. You know what this conversation sounds like? It sounds like when Yeezus was coming out and Ye was up at Sway, and Sway's like, why don't you do it yourself?
Why don't you do it yourself?
Why don't you do it yourself? And he said, how, Sway? And I agree with Kanye then. Yeah. I said, nah, fuck doing it yourself. I'm Kanye West. These niggas should be throwing me the bag. Yeah. They have the infrastructure. Adidas has it. Kanye West is applying that to the same to this here. Agree or disagree whether it's gonna work or whether it can work. Niggas gave him steam for that. Like, why is he, if he's complaining about Nike and all these big companies, then why don't you just do it yourself? Well, what I thought was interesting is I know for my own, I've had people tell me that, like, why don't you do it yourself? It's not on, the scale is different. Kanye West is not the type of person to do small hometown. Kanye West doesn't see himself as small hometown. Kanye West sees himself as worldwide, global. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a man that goes to dinner with Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna do it himself, because the people that he's around never had to do it themselves. The people that he's around get investors, funding to do it on a larger scale where everyone knows who they are. Now, I'm not saying this to agree, but I'm saying this because I don't think this perspective has been even said at all about Kanye West. I don't think that people have put two and two together and said, wait, every time that he said that he was going to do something, he didn't allow himself to do it on an amateur level. He did it on the largest scale possible that he could. He found the largest scale. Niggas clowned him when he was saying that he was leaving Nike, and that, you know, Louis Vuitton wouldn't let him work there, and that, you know, so when he was, you know, interning in Paris and stuff like that for fashion, and everyone's clowning like, bro, why are you doing fashion? And then the Yeezy season started dropping because he got to deal with Adidas, and they believed, and they went through, and now everybody's buying Yeezys and everybody's watching the fashion shows, and it's a whole cultural thing. It blew up. People changed their perspective on that. Like, yo, can you imagine if he didn't do that? It wouldn't have nearly been on that scale. Fast forward to now, and Kanye West is talking about love everybody. I don't think it so much has to do with Donald Trump. I think it has to do with the president of the United States. It could have been any president. I think whoever was in office. I think if Hillary was in office, he'd be on Twitter like, I love Hillary. Yeah. I'm going to meet with Hillary. Yeah. He would not be meeting with Donald Trump if he wasn't president of the United States. That's true. I think it has to do more with him being president, and I do think that Kanye means well, even though I think he could be doing it differently.
Exactly. For Donald Trump, you owe us an explanation as to why you're doing this.
And I completely agree.
For him.
And this is where I go back to what we said the other day when I said I think that this it's not in Kanye's character to not now address this on his album. I don't think he's gonna address it in tweets, because then there's no reason for us to listen to this album.